This is an historic moment. We have in this past year made great progress in ending the long era of conflict and Cold War. We have before us the opportunity to forge for ourselves and for future generations a new world order, a world where the rule of law, not the law of the jungle, governs the conduct of nations. When we are successful, and we will be, we have a real chance at this new world order, an order in which a credible United Nations can use its peacekeeping role to fulfill the promise and vision of the UN's founders.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. For 2 years, secret documents leaked by former national security contractor Edward Snowden have yielded a steady stream of news reports about U.S. government spying on terrorism suspects, foreign leaders, and American citizens. Now another chapter has been revealed, how telecommunications giant AT&T demonstrated a, quote, extreme willingness to help the NSA. An article jointly published by the New York Times and the investigative nonprofit ProPublica reports AT&T forwarded 1 million emails a day to the NSA, handed over 1 billion cell phone records a day to the NSA, and assisted the NSA in wiretapping internet lines at the United Nations headquarters. This is according to documents provided by Snowden, who remains in Russia to avoid U.S. prosecution for espionage. Joining me now.
Just how smart is your city? Chances are it's getting smarter by the year. Many governments around the globe are racing to infuse technology into just about every aspect of its city's operations. And I mean every part.
Including public transportation, IT connectivity, water and power supply, sanitation and solid waste management, efficient urban mobility, e-governance, and citizen participation.
And it does this using every buzzword imaginable, from big data to the Internet of Things.
So you're probably saying to yourself, what does any of this have to do with me? You're probably right. But let's look into it. Hutchinson to beta test nationwide AT&T project. This was in 2019. Officials from the telecommunication company came to Hutchinson on March 27, inquiring about a 40,000 person city being the first nationwide to test the program. The initiative is through a 2017 partnership with AT&T and the congressional-made FirstNet, which aims to improve communications and lower response time during an emergency. AT&T will need to increase its tower capabilities for the test and install cameras at intersections that can be accessed by first responders in the city. Council members supported for the city to submit a letter of agreement to the beta site. City manager John Dearduff said AT&T chose Hutchinson because of its size and because the city beta tested the now successful state venture called Generation 911, which gives cell tower priority to first responders in an emergency. AT&T would be responsible for providing and installing cameras. Expenses for the city would come at a program fee down the road if the city wants to continue the venture. Dearduff said he didn't know what the total budget impact would be for keeping the program. Hutchinson Police Chief Jeff Hooper said the company planned to pilot the program in Hutchinson for about 6 months this year and then launch it in 2020. Councilwoman Jade Pires de Carvalho asked about needing any city ordinance and inquired about privacy rights. Dearduff said an ordinance wouldn't be needed and joked that instead of city inspectors peeking in windows, they would use drones. So he said they're going to use drones. Dearduff was referring to some landlords likening a city inspection ordinance for rental properties to peeking in windows, which city officials they don't do. Part of the program would include drones to be used by first responders, so they want to use drones. Hooper said that if the city agrees to drones, first responders will only use drones in emergencies, such as hostage situation or a disaster on par with the 2017 wildfires north of town. Additionally, Hooper said the improvements made by AT&T would allow citizens to record a crime in progress on their phone that law enforcement could access with the caller's permission. Hooper is considering a dispatch. The AT&T system and Next Generation 911 both give communication priority to first responders during an emergency. However, AT&T has other bells and whistles. Hooper said the program would allow officers to access a caller's cell phone camera with the caller's permission. The AT&T system, he said, also allows first responders to access cameras at intersections, and the geomapping would reroute first responders around traffic. The city could use the cameras to survey roads as well. That's why every time you drive by one of those cameras, they're always blinking red. They're recording. And it just says how it came to be because of the 9/11 terrorist attack, which we already mentioned in this website. It was a fraud. So this is in... So, okay, imagine this. You're at a party, a crime happens, someone call 911. Ma'am, sir, can we access your camera? And you can incriminate so many people can just, that's just crazy. But it gets even crazier. Look at this. City discusses skating Orchard Park at night, closed it earlier. The City Council agreed Tuesday to explore imposing new restrictions at Riverbank Orchard on the city's north side to respond to continued late-night issues there that are upsetting area residents. The 72 park of 43rd Avenue and K61 Highway, which opened in 2014, and it's named after Civil War veterans. This has led to complaints about noise, drag racing, litter, and vandalism. It's a situation we have taken very seriously, said Police Chief Jeff Hooper. Well, that's great. That is great. We put multiple officers up there and added an extra patrol and enforcement zone. We even put a plainclothes officer in the trees with binoculars, with a cop cars around the corner when the group shows up. The city installed surveillance cameras, but there are issues with being able to place it at an angle that can capture license plates on vehicles. The council was advised when Mayor Jace Pires de Carvalho, man, what a communist, raised the issue Tuesday. It's been a constant problem since I've been here, Hooper said. Unless I put an officer there 24 hours a day, we can't solve it with current policing methods. The only real solution, Hooper suggested, is to close the park at night by installing a gate. I agree. A gate is the best solution, said Parks Director Justin Combs. This issue is who opens it and closes. Oh, that's the issue, not the privacy issue. But that's... The city of Hutchinson is a joke, people, ladies and gentlemen. The city of Hutchinson is a joke.